Let's turn to Rivers State, a state famous for its vast reserves of crude oil and natural gas. It's also famous, or infamous, some might say, for its political affairs. My next guest, Mr. Tonye, is no stranger to state and national politics. Under the ruling APC in 2023, he ran for governor. He's been very vocal about the state of politics, not just in his state of origin, Rivers, but in Nigeria as a whole. So what lessons can we learn as the crucial presidential elections in 2027 approaches? Now we'll go to Port Harcourt, where we join the politician, businessman, and former APC governorship candidate Tonye. Glad to have you join us.
Hello, Andy. Nice to have you again.
Fantastic. Well, charity, they say, begins at home. So let's begin in your state, Rivers State, where elections were conducted recently. You are quoted as having said that you're focused on stopping the LG elections because the process is illegal, dangerous to democracy, that there's no lawful constituted electoral commission, no 90-day notice, and pending court cases on the legality of the sole administrator. Apparently, you did not succeed. So what next? Because the election's held.
So, you know, Indy, one of the things that we have to be very careful about is that democracy is something that is continuous.
Yep.
Now, if we begin to ignore how the people feel, and we ignore the laws and the rules of democracy, and we set our own rules, I think it's a very dangerous trend. I've already spoken about the local government elections. I feel that we could have done it differently. It could have been done better. It could have been done with a much more holistic approach of engaging people and making sure that they understand that this is a process that affects their ultimate well-being, local government being the very grassroots of it. I didn't agree with the way it was done, and I said so. But it's done, so we have to move on to the next one.
Exactly. Move on to the next one. So how many factions are there in your state of APC? I ask this because I hear of the Beke and the Okocha faction. Which is which, and which do you belong to?
You know, the truth of the matter is that this Rivers State has always been in the headlines for factions within parties, whether it's in the PDP, whether it's in the APC. And today, as we stand, we have the APC recognized by the court, which is what you would call led by Emeka Beke. And that's the one where that's under the party that I ran as governor. And then you have an amalgamation of PDP, APC, which we're not sure about. Some of them are PDP, they were APC close. Some of them are APC, they were PDP. We don't even know. And there's that faction which is led by Okocha. We have to clean up these things. Everybody must know that if there is one party in Rivers State and that party is APC, then it belongs to one political body. Right now, it doesn't.
So, what are you doing about it to clear that, to get it is not? So, I mean, you talk about problems and then you talk about solutions. So, I can't help but ask you.
Absolutely.
What are you doing about it?
I'm glad. Beautiful. I'm glad that you asked that question. So, being a two-time gubernatorial candidate, I am the highest ranking APC member, authentic, within the state, which means that I have the responsibility today to begin to bring APC together, clean it up, clear it, and work as one body. That's where it is, and that's exactly what I'm doing. The work that I have to do now is ensure that everything that had been done under APC prior to now must be done properly.
Would you say you're succeeding?
It's work in progress. So it requires consultation, it requires understanding, it requires meeting with the national, meeting with the state, and just bringing everybody together to understand that we represent a people. And if the people feel that we are riding roughshod over them and we don't care what they say, we don't care what they think, we don't care whether they agree or not, I think we'll have a problem down the line. And we must ensure For democracy to survive in Rivers State, in Nigeria as a whole, you cannot ride roughshod over people. People matter, their opinions matter, and you have to carry them along.
You cannot be faulted on that score. People matter. They're the reason why in the first place you're elected president or governor or local government chairman. The moment you take them for granted, you're digging your own grave. I agree with you totally there. Well, last local, and that what you have said will mean that you are working to bring both the Beke and the Okocha faction. I can say that, right?
We have to.
Yeah. Okay.
There has to be one APC.
Yeah.
If we do not achieve that, we're in trouble.
Yeah. Okay. Well, last local government elections, what role did the FCT minister play in the elections? Did he work for the APC in Rivers or the PDP? I hear all those elected, that's what I'm hearing, are his cronies. How do you respond? Because I also just read that you had no horse in that race.
Well, so I cannot answer for him. What we do know is that it seems as if people who were in the APC before, who were in the PDP before, went in the primaries as PDP and came out as candidates as APC. Now that is a fact. As to whether that was his doing, he would have to answer.
My God, Rivers politics is quite interesting. What you just said now, I couldn't help but laugh, you know. They went in as APC, came out as PDP. They went in fact, Andy, of course, you know him, Omano Orore, said all the parties in Rivers, they have factions, whether it's the PDP, whether it's the LP, or whether it's the APC. All right, what do you make of the political maneuverings, cross-carpeting the new party on the block, the ADC, and their ability, as they claim, to one-seat APC at the top?
Okay, so my position politically has always been this. I believe that competition is necessary. And I believe that if we're going to have development, then there must be competition. Each time, every party, by virtue of being political, wants to be the dominant party. And that's fine. But it wasn't foolish when somebody said that absolute power corrupts absolutely, which means that you must be able to balance it with a strong opposition. So I have no problem with competition at all. I grew as we did in business because we had competition. Competition took us to where we were. So I love competition, which means that if there is a second party, the ADC, and it can compete actively against our party, the APC, beautiful. It will make us better. But if we have one party state, I don't think it's good for Nigeria.
All right, but that's fantastic. But there's this talk again that the nation is tilting to one-party state, you know, because of what is happening that you know in the political atmosphere. What do you say to that? At the dangers of a one-party state?
I don't think Nigeria... Okay, so first of all, I think that we're too complex a country and for us to end up in a one-party state. I always believe that there are people who are going to get up and say, no, we're not going to do this. So I don't think we're ever going to get there. What you have to encourage as journalists, as politicians, all of us as Nigerians, is to make sure that the parties begin to give a clear ideology of who they stand for and what they believe, so that people can begin to align with one party or the other. What we have today is that all parties look alike, which is why people can get up from one party today, move to another, is why you can cross carpet anyhow, because there's no ideology. What everybody is looking for is which party will get me to power. Power is the only ideology that as politicians we look for, and that is wrong. That does not serve the people. So for me, the Nigerian press, the Nigerian people must begin to demand from politicians, whether APC, PDP, LP, ADC, what is your core ideology? Let us know. Where do you stand? So that we begin to choose as a people who we support. And that's where we need to get to.
Your ideas are fantastic, fantastic. You know, I mean, when I listen to your ideas, it's really enjoyable the way, because the talk over time in Nigeria politics is that, just like you said, interest, stomach, I think it was Fayose that said, did they call it, I forgot what he called it, stomach infrastructure. Good, yeah, you know, just like you said, where you're going to get power, no ideology. We hope that, as you're saying it, that is what will be in practice. What do you make of the claims that the ruling party is deploying state apparatus to weaken opposition political parties? I mean, recent cases of Tambuwal being questioned by the security forces, and then there's the case of El Rufai. What do you make of that? I mean, that's the claim of the opposition by the ruling party.
Well, so first of all, those claims have always been there. It's something that we always see as you get towards political elections. I myself was a victim of that. Rivers State government and the last government threw so many court cases at me just to distract and all of that. So it's one of those unfortunate political tactics that cases should be thrown at you, you will be distracted, they will try to stop you. You cannot allow that to stop you. As politicians, we're used to it. They will throw the cases at you. What you need to do is just focus on the goal. And at the end of the day, your goal should be that, one, you serve the people. Two, you are representing them. Regardless of what they bring at you, if you know you're innocent about it, you will come out. So I've never worried about the cases that have been thrown against me. I just stay focused on the goal ahead of me. So yes, I believe that political parties will do that. They will throw cases, they will chase you, they will try to use every tactic under the sun to stop you from winning. But that shouldn't deter you. If you're in this business and you know why you're there, you will stay focused.
Good. So let me just ask you now immediately as we go on. Are you running again? I mean, before I ask that, you have always been with former governor of Rivers State, Rotimi Amechi. But now he's in ADC, but you're still in APC. Why didn't you go with him? And are you going to run again?
You know, I've always had a lot of respect for individuals, Rotimi Amechi and others. And I've consistently said that he has a goal, an ambition where he wants to go, and so do I. I have my own ambition and I have my own goals. Nobody can take away the fact that he brought me into politics. Nobody can. Somebody must bring you into politics. Where we stand today, he is interested in running for president, and he has gone to pursue that. And that's great. He's doing that. I am interested in running for governor in Rivers State, and I'm staying there. That's my focus. That's where we are. So definitely, I'm definitely running.
Okay, so you're running. I wish you luck this time. I hope you get it this time. Is important.
Third time lucky.
Okay, yeah, because they say 3 times lucky. I mean, all right, let's talk about the suspended governor, Fubara, and his allies. They did not vote, incidentally, in that local government elections. In fact, the 23 local governments that were sacked by the Supreme Court said, why vote when the winners have already been decided?
What's your question?
Yeah, they didn't vote. Why vote when, according to them, the winners have already been decided, and the fact that even the suspended governor did not vote? And then, of course, you can take along with the fact that today is what? Today is 9th. 9 days from today, he's supposed to get back into office on September 18. And I don't understand Rivers politics now. He's supposed to be PDP, APC. I don't understand. I don't understand. So go on. Yeah, take that.
No, nobody. Well, no. Look, the truth of the matter is that these things have become so convoluted, so complex, that people look at Rivers State and they look at Rivers State's politics, and some use it as a joke, some are confused about it, nobody understands. Are we an experiment in a political nightmare that people are just wanting to wake up to? Look, if we have a responsibility, that responsibility is that we must clean up Rivers politics. We must make it clear. And people who come out to compete must compete on a fair basis. And when they win because of who they are. That's on the one hand. Now, those who ran under Fubra, one of the things I said before is that Sim Fubra conducted an election that very much is very similar to what was conducted a few weeks ago. And that was cancelled. And it was cancelled in the court. I don't know what they are doing, but I suspect that they will be pursuing a court case now, the ones who were there, they will be pursuing a court case to overturn this one. Only time will tell. This is what happens in Rivers State. One court case over another. So if I know anything about Rivers State politics, unless there's an agreement by those who already feel they were elected, I'm almost certain that they're in court somewhere.
And there's talk about that agreement between the governor who is coming back, what some people have called, by the way, with all the hula-baloo in Rivers State, some have said the peace that they are experiencing is like a piece of the graveyard. How do you respond to that?
You know, they say a day in politics is like 100 years. Things change very, very rapidly. Until the 18th of September, let me put it this way, until the 19th of September, nobody knows what is going to happen. So it is only when Sim gets back into office and the apparatus that has been put around him begins to act, then we will know whether or not he has been totally subdued or whether there is still a fight in him. We have no idea. So all we can do is wait to see when he gets into power, when he comes back into office, and we'll know whether or not he's now been made, I don't have the word for what it would look like. So September 19th, we will see.
We'll watch and see whether he's been totally subdued, because actually, that's what somebody said. Somebody said that Wike now has control of the grassroots, and the talk was that he influenced the election. And when he was asked, he said, I only influenced the election in my Obiopo area. But the talk was that all the 23 local government chairmen are his cronies. I mean, that's what's being bandied, and that he influenced the entire election. What do you think? What can you tell me or tell us?
Look, what I can say is that if we go back to everything that started this whole fight between Sim and Wike, just listen to it. It was always about structure. Structure. Who has the structure? Who's taking structure and all of that. So if we just put two and two together, it would not surprise me that everything continues to be about structure. Now, who is influencing who? Whose structure is in play and all of that is anybody's guess. But this fight was about structure. September 18th, it will still be about structure. September 19th, it will be about structure. January 2026, it will be about structure. Come 2027, it will be about structure. If there's any fight that has been ongoing in Rivers State from day one till now, it's about structure. So it's anybody's guess.
And the person that has the structure, whatever structure means, you know, for us who are doing the work of journalism and questioning you, whatever that structure means. So do you have the structure to be able to, you're contesting again, to be able to, let me use the pidgin parlance, ruffle the battle with Wike, who seems to have the structure?
You know the beautiful thing about life? Everybody has a structure. It just depends on how they want to deploy it. Okay? So we all have structures. For me, the structure that I work on has always been the structure of the people. The first time I came into Rivers State politics, what I did was to go into every ward, into places where politicians had not been to to sit down with people one-on-one and hear them out and listen to them, understand their grievances, and begin to recruit them both emotionally, spiritually, and physically, that we are going to make sure that your voice is heard. And that was grassroots movement. I went to every single ward in this state, one by one. Now, that is a structure in itself. You have to now translate all of that and move that into a political structure. That's a different challenge, and that's a work that will continue to happen. So I'm not worried about anybody saying that, oh, I hold this structure or that structure. That's what it's about. Everybody has their political structure. At the end of the day, we have an election coming forward. When we get to that election, then we will see how it's going to be played. For now, I have no idea how that is going to turn out. But that day is coming. And when it comes, we will see.
When we'll get to the bridge, we'll cross it. And like you said, third time lucky. That's what
we will cross it.
We're hoping for. All right. You have been quoted as saying that the presidential system is not good for Nigeria. I hope I'm correct. Why and what is? I mean, okay, talking about what is, I think you said something like building an African, Nigerian-focused political system. Speak to this.
You know, so everywhere I have studied political systems that work versus the ones that have not worked, I have found out that the ones that work are the ones that have been built based on the cultural ideology of the people. They understand it and then they build up with that. So if you go to the French democracy, they understand it starting from when they had the French Revolution and then they built it. It's called democracy. It is very different from the British one. The British one was on monarchy and lords, and then they had to bring in the people, and they call it the House of Lords and the House of Commons. Commons being the people having a voice. They had to change their democracy for it to work. America was based on freedom, complete. They didn't want to know anything. So whether I come from Nigeria, Canada, Germany, wherever, and I get into America, I can be elected governor, senator, councillor, wherever I live. Is built on that principle. Nigeria imported the democracy of America and put it on us and totally ignored our cultural biases. And that's why we have an issue. We need to go back to our cultural biases and begin to develop an electoral system that we understand and move with it. Today, what we have is the presidential system. We will work with it because that is what we have. But if we want democracy to really work in Nigeria, let's go back to what the culture in the North is, what the culture in the East is, what the culture in the West is, what the culture in the South is. You will find out that we're very different, very, very different. And so we have to now start building a democracy that respects me as an Ijaw man, that respects a Yoruba man, that respects a Kanuri, that respects a thief in what they understand, so that we build it up from there. We have to go back to the basics.
Go back to the basics, go back to the roots. Just a very quick one. Are you part of the non-partisan coalition called Coalition for Renewed Hope Family in Rivers? Just a very quick one.
Wow, I don't know who that is.
Okay, fine. So we'll leave it there. Tonye Cole, businessman, politician, thank you for your time on Arise Prime Time. I enjoyed my discussion with you.
Always a pleasure. Always enjoy it.
All right then. Well, that's it for this edition of Arise Prime Time. Do join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja, goodbye and thank you for watching.